So, welcome everyone. Today I want to talk about what I go through when I compose these music. So, as you may have seen, the last piece I uploaded was Action Filled 1 by N-Waves. And I wanted to show you how I prepared this. So, the first day, this took me actually only a day. Not even a day. I think on an afternoon. But like on the first day, I was like, let me just prepare it, and it was like getting late, so I was like, let me just prepare all the instruments and stuff I'm gonna use for the next day. So I was like, all right. I'm usually working with strings. I have to get off that. I'm too used to using strings a lot, so I have to get off that habit. So what I did was, as you can see here, I've chosen crescendo and pizzicato for the strings, but later on that will actually change. But my initial thought was these are the ones I'm gonna use. I also added glissando. I'm preparing this and a drum and a snare. So what I also want for a background is brass. I use that a lot, the brass ensemble. By the way, this is the Kontakt 5 library. So what else? Crescendo, string chords, by the way, which I also have here, which is literally the different notes that you can choose there, like this. I wanted to use that in the background. Maybe some of you have noticed it. It's like actually like really quiet on the end result. My initial plan was to do a boss battle, so I used the pizzicato as a bass, as you can see here. I also forgot to mention I also added effects just to, give it a little bit of life. I'm gonna let you listen to this a little bit. So as a like bass note, so to say, which means they're gonna play in intact rhythm. I used E3 plus an octave up E4, so that they just have this bounce together while the other notes are playing. Going up, going up, going up. Of course, this is not supposed to be like a endless loop. As you can see, it's just to give the first bass line before I go up more octaves and add some variety in. And the plan was more to use this pizzicato part as a rhythm, and what I mostly do when I'm composing stuff, I'm like, all right, this is gonna play for a while at the beginning, so I'm gonna copy paste a lot of this until I come up with the a melody above, until I change the bass line. It's not a usual way of working, especially myself. Usually I do the melody first and then come up with the bass lines and chords, so to say, or chords. I keep forgetting how to pronounce that. First I wanted to try something with crescendo, but I quickly realized later on that it didn't really fit at the beginning. So if you listen to the piece, I just used crescendo at the near the end, so it wasn't really used in here. As you can see here, I'm adding a brass line, which was a plan of giving a little bit of background noise. You know what I mean? So it doesn't just sound a little dry. So I've chosen a really deep note for those. So some can recognize it, but a lot of people that may listen to it just feel like you know what I mean, in the background. And like it gives them a different feel, a type of feeling. was talking about going an octave up, as you've heard just a while ago, which is literally me going from E3 and E4 up to E4 and E5 while keeping the E3, so that they have a nice, harmony together. I want to make it clear, I'm no professional in this, okay? I'm slowly starting to learn. I'm slowly getting into this, and so don't think like, oh, what is this? Is this guy talking? No, I'm just telling what I'm doing and what I perceive. So if I'm sorry if I can't really articulate, all the different probably words you're looking for. But let's just jump ahead to the next part, which is I talked about effects, right? So here I'm gonna add a couple effects just to give it a little bit of a more, this boss battle I was thinking of, that feel of, there is something. So you heard the first starting effect, and then you will hear this as like kind of like a drum, a rhythm, dum dum. I added these two really deep drum effects on D5, both on D5. Meanwhile, of course, I added a couple drums and snares, as you can hear. The ending part, as you heard, was where I finally decided to get into glissando. But again, if you heard the piece, I used the glissando like really late and removed it from here because I was thinking like adding something like Middle East Oriental, feeling a little bit, going up and down with glissando, giving it a little bit of a emotional feeling. Like a kind of like a desert boss, I don't know, whatever feel. So maybe some of you may ask, well, why did it end the way it did? Well, I got a little distracted. That's what happened with my orchestral mashup one. If you guys heard to that piece, is when I'm like, it sounds more like it has 4 music pieces mashed in together instead of like the first. If you have listened to N-Wave Symphony one, that one you can say, all right, that's a whole piece of the music. You can say, everything fits, I get it. Some may like, oh, the first thing was awesome, but later on it kind of sucked. But I also might want to say that I also did that with my Discord community. Invited some people and they gave me some input later on. So I think they didn't really know what I was going for from the beginning. And I myself was like, oh hell yeah, let's just do this, play around with whatever. But it's actually really important to stick with what you wanted to do from the beginning, because if you want to tell a story, that's especially important. So I kind of dozed off from there, but I thought I should clarify that. But here's the finished piece. I'll let you listen to it. You can also listen to it on the video called N-Waves Action Filled, which is just the music. But just to let you listen to this whole part, and I'll come back and then talk about it again. Oh God, kind of sounded awful. Well, I'm just saying, yeah. As you may have heard, it's like four pieces scattered around, And I also started to use staccato. This is another problem. I am using a lot of staccato, especially on my previous pieces. So yeah, but anyhow, I just I just finished the people that are on my gaming channel Discord already know. I got the certificate of excellence, so it's called, which is the art of composing tutorial, which was like the mastering the basics, and but just recently finished it, so I'm like trying to wrap my head around. I'm like experimenting around. That's really important. You have to experiment around, and a really important piece for a composer is to refine. Your job is to refine, and that's something I didn't do with this piece. I didn't go back and like, oh, let me just change this, move around some stuff, and look that it actually fits with what I was aiming for at the beginning. But anyhow, well, guys, you gotta consider, I'm coming from a background. I started as a musician as with an instrument called the ney, which is a flute, Oriental flute, and then went on with the saz, as you guys may have seen a couple pieces of videos where I'm playing with the saz. And there's one music I composed which I'm kind of proud of, just with the saz alone, which is the Desert Wanderer. If you guys ever watched that, and that one actually took a little while until I finally finished that, but I did that just by listening with my ear, I didn't come really from a background of knowing, the notes, etc. I knew, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, si, do, whatever. But like that was it, I couldn't really read the notes, but now I'm slowly getting into that. I also finally got into A B C E F, A B C D E F G, the letter version of these things. For years, many years, I've been going with the do, re, mi version, but now I can finally read the notes and all. But anyhow, guys, thank you so much for watching. I wish I could have given you more information, but I'm thinking about doing more of these videos, you know, so I can like just improve on myself, work on myself, and maybe the next video I will get more into deeper theory, you know, and what I understood from my piece, and you know, and you guys getting more educated. If at all, I will try, you know, for those that watch me, to help you out a little. But yeah, so just for a beginner video, I wanted to put this out. So thank you guys so much for supporting me. So at some point I will actually get into why I used N-Waves, you know, for my composer name, and I will provide you with more content, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.